Cleaning our bikes is something that we all have to do, whether we enjoy it or not. But there are a few common mistakes that we can do when we're washing our bikes that we might not even know that we're not meant to do. So in this video, I'm going to run through some of the common mistakes you might be making when you're washing your pride and joy. Now this first one, I'm going to say not many of us actually do, and it is give your bike a pre-wash before you go in with a proper wash. Now this is especially handy because it's going to help loosen and get off a lot of that mud before you go in with a proper wash. But especially in the winter when your bike is caked with mud and dirt, imagine if you didn't pre-wash and you just went in with a sponge onto that dirt. It is very likely that you're going to get scratches on your bike from rubbing that sponge around from all the grit. So definitely pre-wash, because I know a lot of you aren't going to want scratches on your pride and joy. Now the best time to pre-wash is straight after a ride, when that mud is still kind of wet and loose. It's going to come off a lot easier, so just get a hose on it, give it once over, it'll be grand. Now I'm going to say when most of us clean our bikes, we concentrate quite a lot on the chain. We degrease the chain, we get the brushes on the chain, and we make sure that chain is sparkling clean, maybe even the cassette as well. But one part a lot of people miss is the jockey wheels. Now these can build up over time a lot of mud and grime on them. And you can see, I'd say my bike is in fairly good condition, quite clean, but even now there's a fair bit of muck and grime on them. But this is easily fixed. That's all you need is a flat end screwdriver, and you can basically just push all of the dirt off. Make sure to do both sides as well, and that is going to ensure that your chain and your drive chain is going to stay clean for a lot longer, and it's going to make your ride even more efficient. Now this next one might sound quite basic, but we have probably all been there when we've been in a rush. We've wanted to get our bike done and clean in just a few minutes. So you use the same sponge or the same brushes on your cassette and your chain as you do on your frame. A big no-no. Make sure you've got separate brushes and a sponge or a mitt. And I'd say separate buckets as well, or wash out your bucket for when you're doing your chain and your frame. So for the chain, you could literally just use an old washing up brush, an old toothbrush, or a dedicated one for the chain that can really get in all those nooks and crannies in between the links. And when it comes to your frame, you just want a nice clean sponge or a mitt, and just make sure that you maybe do replace your sponges now and again, because I mean if there is quite a lot of dirt on there, it can pick it up in the sponge. But make sure you clean them out nicely, and again, separate buckets and clean water. Another one many of us have probably done without even noticing is overspray or contamination of products. Now, chain lube is great for your chain, but you do not want to get that under any circumstance on your brakes. Or you might be, polishing your frame up with a nice shine polish, and you might go down the forks at the front and you might get so many front brakes. You do not want that to happen, because your brakes won't work properly and you might end up with a hefty maintenance bill if something needs replacing. So just bear that one in mind and be really careful where you spray certain products. Right, you're done washing your bike, just stick it back in the garage and forget about it now. Oh no, we're not done yet. We're not done. We have missed a very crucial step. If you put your bike away and it's still half wet, what's going to happen? Your chain's going to go rusty, it's going to go minging. You do not want that. You need to dry your bike. Take that little bit extra time to take a bit more care of your bike. Get yourself a nice microfiber cloth, go over your bike, wipe all the frame, nice and dry, and then get an old rag. You can get an old pair of underwear, an old shirt, something that you don't really care about and you want to go over the chain. Just make sure you have two separate cloths or rags for this as well, like your sponges, one for the chain and one for the frame and the wheels. Because even though I've cleaned my chain, I probably still go over it and dry it. Yeah, and look, it's still got ucky stuff on it, and you don't want to go putting that on your frame. Now, if you do want to take it one step further, you can get an air compressor to really get in all those nooks and crannies. I mean, if you are a pro mechanic, you probably have one, but if not, just make sure you get that cloth and really get into all those little holes. So those are some of the most common cleaning mistakes we've probably all done whilst cleaning our bikes. But if I have missed any, or you've made some pretty big mistakes whilst cleaning your bike, please let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to have a read through them. And if you did enjoy, give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.